Public health is the science and the art of improving health and preventing disease in whole populations. Before we focus on improving health, let's consider populations for a moment. If we go back to the period before the modern era, the Industrial Revolution was starting, and birth rates were very high. So if we look at this diagram, we've got a lot of babies being born. But death rates were also very high. Typically, 200 babies out of every 1,000 would die in the first year. And death rates would remain fairly high throughout childhood and adult life. And so the population pyramid, well, it looks pretty much like a pyramid. You'll see also that the age at which half of the live births have died, which is what we mean by life expectancy, is very low, 34 years. And the numbers of people over 60 are very small. Now compare that with today. You'll see a much narrower base. This reflects the fact that birth rates are low. This looks much more like a rectangle with a small triangle on top. The bulge at about 50 or 60 are the aging baby boomers. The narrow base reflects low birth rates. The flat sides represent low death rates, and we can see there's high life expectancy. And this transformation from high birth rates, high death rates, and low life expectancy to low birth rates, low death rates, but high life expectancy is what we call the demographic transition. And it's not happened only in places like Europe and North America, but it's happening rapidly all over the world. And within a generation, the oldest populations in the world will be found in places like China, India, Brazil, and Indonesia. So what we are learning from the UK will be of global importance very soon. Because the challenge is, can we achieve healthy aging? Now we're going to look at aging from another perspective, a survival curve. Along the x-axis we have age, and the y-axis is survival. So we start at age 0 with 100% survival. Back in 1830, we see the rapid decline in numbers associated with high infant mortality and high childhood mortality. And this continues throughout adult life, and survival is not long, as we've already commented. But compare that with what's called the ideal rectangular curve. In this scenario, 100% of people are born, they live to the end of the natural lifespan, and then they die of old age. And the shaded area between the two is the loss of life or premature mortality. And between 1830 and today, each of these curves has moved somewhat towards the ideal rectangular curve. And if we project into the next century, we can see that we will probably achieve a level of survival quite close to the rectangular curve. What this means, of course, is that the numbers of people who are relatively old, say over 60, will become much greater, not just in the UK, but the world over. It's projected that there will very soon be 1 billion people on the globe over 60. In the early years, nurturing and attachment matter. Bowlby, a psychiatrist, has put forward something called attachment theory, and he says unless the baby has a key figure, usually the mother, to have an emotional attachment to, the rest of development is compromised. Once adolescence comes along, horizons open up, experiences expand, and that's an opportunity for healthy growth and development, provided it doesn't lead to excessive risk-taking and the adoption of activities or habits that damage health. In adult life and the working years, this is sometimes the busiest time of life, with multiple responsibilities to work, to family, and the community. Sometimes that can be stressful, but it also can lead to some of the most meaningful experiences people have. And these can be carried into the declining years, but in those times, the maintenance of function becomes increasingly important. You'll note that things like freedom from cigarettes and other risk factors is at the cusp of the individual and the community level. That's because there's a shared responsibility. We're responsible for our health as individuals, but society needs to make the healthy choices the easy choices. And factors like good nutrition, good sleep and exercise are important through the whole lifespan.